Right now on HHS In Depth, we'll bring you the first installment of a new series this semester called Fort Wayne Focus, where you will learn of some historic places right here in Fort Wayne. The famous Coney Island will be profiled today by Andre Sentlever.
You will meet our new teachers for second semester and learn about how they became teachers at Homestead in the middle of the school year in a report by Carly Flanagan.
If you've ever wondered how an episode of HHS In Depth is made, reporter Cora Shaw will show you how as she goes behind the scenes of a typical week here in our class.
Those stories and more, plus a look back at the past week of sports and a profile over this week's Team of the Week in the Locker Report.
HHS In Depth starts right now.
Everybody we talked to, our realtor and everyone, said you must go to Fort Wayne Counties. It's the local spot. You've got to know it.
Welcome to another episode of HHS In Depth. Hello everyone, I'm Jenna Lane.
And I'm Nisha Lalleria. Nearly everyone watching today's show has been there, but do you know the history of Fort Wayne's famous Coney Island?
Reporter Andre Sentlever brings you our first installment of a new series this semester called Fort Wayne Focus, where you'll learn about some of our city's most historical landmarks and locations. Andre?
Coney Island is a wonderful staple here in Fort Wayne, known for its conies, chili, and steamed buns, as well as its interesting history.
This company means it's almost like a wife, like a family. I've been here since I was 15 years old, and most of my family had worked here. My dad had worked with all of his brothers, and then 9 of my mom's brothers had worked here. So I grew up with the place, and it's pretty much part of my life. As far as my partner, her grandpa bought it in 1916. And then a long line of them worked here, and then my wife works in the office, my brother works in the office, and then I have 3 boys that work here. I have a manager, and then a 16-year-old and a 14-year-old.
You know, it means a lot. My dad is actually the owner. He's been here for 27 years now. Worked at 15 and started from the kitchen and worked his way up, and then I've been here since I was 15 and trying to do the same thing. Russ Choco was the original owner. He was married in, his wife's dad owned it, and then he took over, and now his daughter and my father are partners. So it is family, it's a family business.
Coney Island is notorious for its amount of visitors, as well as the conies made each day.
On an average day, we do about 2,000 hot dogs a day, although during the Christmas season, we can easily do a lot more than that.
Typically we sell between 2,000 to 3,000 a day. You know, it's been a simple menu since we opened. There's no reason to add anything. There's no reason to change anything. You know, people ask us all the time why we don't have French fries, but we don't have room for a fryer, so it's kind of hard to make room for that stuff.
You know, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Our Coney Island has not changed the menu since before me, and I've been here 33 years. And if I had to guess, it's probably been 50 years since we've changed anything on the menu. So people know what to expect, people come, and we try to keep it that way. As Fort Wayne downtown has been revitalized, and Coney Island has become kind of a fixture, we've been kind of making a name for ourselves. We are the oldest hot dog stand in America. We're 1914, and the next one is, I believe, 1916.
If you feel hungry, be sure to stop by. Reporting for HHS In Depth, I'm Andre Sentlever. Jenna and Nisha, back to you.
IU dual credit students. If you are taking history with Ms. Warfield or government with Mr. Cogdell for college credit, you may have already received your email from IU with instructions for enrolling in the course. If your classmates have gotten an email and you have not, please check your spam folder, and if there is nothing there from ACP, let your teacher know. Once you get the email, please follow all of the instructions, including setting up your technology account and setting up the Duo login security measures. You need to complete all of the instructions in your email within 48 hours of receiving that letter.
Last weekend in Chicago, the Homestead varsity dance team attended their first UDA competition at the University of Illinois. The team placed in 4th out of 6 teams for hip hop and achieved 5th place out of the 9 competing teams for jazz. Good luck to the JV and varsity dance team at Munster High School for an all-day competition tomorrow.
Ivy Tech dual credit students. You must have an application on file with Ivy Tech, and you must submit your course selection form by next Friday, January 24th. Both of these are online forms, and the links can be found in your Canvas class of 2020 21, 22, or 23. If you have already applied to Ivy Tech and you have your C number, you do not need to do the application again. However, all Ivy Tech dual credit students must fill out the spring semester course selection form. Be sure to print and keep a copy of your confirmation emails in case there are issues with your registration. Ivy Tech dual credit students are responsible for confirming that they have the qualifying test scores needed to enroll in the course. If you check PowerSchool and see that you need to take the entrance exam, the sign up for that exam is available in Canvas.
Homestead students are going on a grand tour of Italy, and you can be a part of it. They'll be spending 10 days of touring Milan, Venice, Florence, Assisi, Pompeii, Sorrento, Rome, and Capri. They'll be riding on gondolas, walking through art museums, swimming in Sorrento, and taking a boat ride from Capri back to Rome. And of course, sampling all the Italian cuisine. Go see Mrs. B in room 208, Mrs. Ricker in room 204, or email either one of them for more information.
Girls interested in joining the Girls Go Cyberstart Club focused on solving cybersecurity challenges, winning prizes, and learning more about the amazing opportunities in this field for women should plan to go to Mrs. Cronk's room 901, Wednesday, January 22nd in the morning at 7:15 a.m. An overview of the club and the activation code needed to get started will be provided.
And now here is the after-school club schedule for meetings taking place over the next week. K-Pop Club meets today after school in room 924. Want to learn how to make more money? Interested in investments in stocks? Then get out to the investment club today in Mrs. Witt's room 119. And Gamers Club will meet next Wednesday after school in room 516.
Although resuming second semester was a normal transition for most of us, there are a few teachers here at Homestead that are in the building for the very first time. Reporter Carly Flanagan introduces us to those two teachers and their journeys to Homestead High School.
This semester, there are a couple of new teachers that have been welcomed into Homestead. Our new journalism teacher, Mrs. Bream, and biology teacher, Miss St. John Peichel, come from different fields of work.
The previous job that I had was in the agriculture industry. I worked for a company here in Fort Wayne that developed new products for farmers. So I did a lot of grant work through the USDA, managed a berry farm here in Fort Wayne, traveled all over the United States as a crop advisor for farms, and do food safety auditing. I've taught for 12 other years. So this is my 13th year of teaching. I taught at Norwell, Central Noble, and then at Carroll High School most recently. I have a master's degree in biology. And courses I have taught include biology 1 and 2, chemistry, integrated chemistry physics, and I also teach all 4 of the Project Lead the Way biomedical science classes.
I'm coming from teaching at Southern Wells, a really small school in Southern Wells County. But before that, I taught at Southside, I've taught at Columbia City, I've taught at South Adams, and I've also taught at the university level. I've been teaching about 25 years. I've taught grades 7 through 12, all English obviously, and most of the time I've done yearbook at all the schools I've taught at.
After hearing about teaching opportunities in Homestead, these two teachers were inclined to follow a new path and further expand their teaching careers while enjoying the different atmosphere in Homestead's working environment.
I actually just really missed working with young people, and I thought it was time for me just to go back to teaching. I'd been away from teaching for 7.5 years, and I really like Homestead. I think you've got a great staff here. The students are very enthusiastic, so I think it's a really good school, and I was excited to come on board as some staff.
I think my favorite part so far is how easily and seamlessly it seems that I just came right in and took off with it, and I think that's a testament to the staff and the student body. Even though they had had a previous teacher for a whole semester, they so far have seemed to accept me, and we're just taking off with the curriculum and starting a new semester.
We wish Mrs. Bream and Miss St. John Peichel good luck down the road as they advance in their careers here at Homestead. Reporting for HHS In Depth, I'm Carly Flanagan.
If you have ever been curious on what a week at HHS In Depth looks like and how we create a show from scratch each week, then reporter Cora Shaw has you covered, as she spent a week going behind the scenes of our 5th period TV class.
Every Friday, an episode of HHS In Depth goes out for all of the Homestead students and faculty to watch. Every day, our TV director, Mr. Schenkel, discusses daily assignments and keeps track of each student's story for that week. To begin a feature, reporters plan an outline, record interviews, and get video footage for their stories. Voiceovers for features are recorded in various studios, either Studio A, B, or C. Studio A is the main studio where students can broadcast to the school's radio station, the Point 91 FM, and the students in the radio department produce daily radio shows. HHS In-Depth students also use that studio to record the majority of their voiceovers. Studios B and C are also used as workspaces and extra recording rooms. The majority of filming happens in the TV studio. Anchors report Homestead's news once a week by reading from a teleprompter, which is run by various students in the program. Also in the studio, there is a green screen where Drew records his weekly weather and Alex records his tech talk. The Locker Report set, where Ashton and Caleb record their weekly sports recaps, is located across from the green screen. After finishing all of the filming and recording, everything is ready to be edited. During this long process, we edit interviews and put everything together by fixing lighting, audio, and video issues. Each student puts together their part of the show separately, and after critiques from fellow students, final touch-ups, and recording anchors, everything can be combined to create the final show. On Fridays, the HHS In-Depth crew critiques the show so that we can further improve in our later features and enhance our show each week. We enjoy sharing what we love with our supportive student body, and we hope you enjoy each show. Reporting for HHS In-Depth, I'm Cora Shaw. Jenna and Nisha, back to you.
When we come back, you'll get caught up with the scores for our sports teams this week, as well as a look at the busy weekend for Spartan Athletics.
Plus, this week's Team of the Week is profiled. The Locker Report is next.
Tonight, it's another SAC doubleheader. After wins over Southside last Friday, both Homestead teams are ready for another matchup. The Snyder Panthers enter Spartan Arena. A boys rematch from the holiday tournament. The girls game at 6 and boys to follow, live on the Point 91 FM and on YouTube at Homestead High School Media.
You're watching The Locker Report with Sports Director Ashton Hackman and Sports Reporter Caleb Wood. Your source for Spartan Athletics.
The Homestead Lady Spartans had a big win in high school hoops over the weekend. We'll get to their game recap in a second, but we begin with the second team profile of the semester. Here's sports reporter Caleb Wood with the team of the week that is diving right into the season.
As the winter sports season progresses here at Homestead, one team that is diving deeper into the regular season is the boys swim and dive team. Fresh off a win against Snyder on Monday, a successful season so far is recognized by many of the boys.
I think the season's going well. We have beaten some good teams so far that is unusual for our team, and we've been close to some of the top teams in the state.
It's going well. We've had some close meets against a bunch of hard indie teams.
The season overall is going pretty well. Got some new best scores, and the team's doing well overall, so it's going good.
As the postseason gets closer, many of the swimmers and divers have goals for the team, as well as their performance at state.
Probably place top 8 at the high school state meet.
Our goals is to come like top 8 at state, win sectionals.
Team goal is to win state, because who doesn't want to win state?
On top of the goals for the team, many of the boys are also hoping to place high at state.
I want to place top 8 in both of my individual events, and then I want both of my relays that I'm on to place top 8.
I want to come top 3 in the 200 IM and 100 breast at state.
My personal goal is to make state this year because I haven't been able to make it the last 3 years.
Despite the many hours and hard work put in throughout practices, the team shares many fun moments and accomplishments together.
Sophomore year, when I got my first high school state cut in the 200 freestyle, me and Julian fist bumped after the race, and it was probably the most exciting memory.
My favorite moment was when I qualified for state my freshman year.
There's been 2 occasions where I've been able to see Bradley at meets we've had against Carroll. It's been a blast.
After a short break, both the girls and boys swim and dive teams are in action next Friday at Fishers High School. Good luck to them on the rest of their season. For the Locker Report, I'm Caleb Wood.
Out to Southside High School for an SAC doubleheader last Friday. First up, the Lady Spartans. Grace Sullivan with the bounce pass to Amber Austin, who throws it out to Riley Parker, and she is a sharp shooter. The Purdue Fort Wayne signee drains it from the right wing. Then in storms Ayanna Patterson, the sophomore, with the step-back two-pointer. It swirlies in. Then Grace Sullivan drives the paint for the layup to end the first half. Spartans up 27-19, and Homestead would continue to pull away in the second half. Riley Parker once again draining the three as Homestead would top Southside yet again, 56-49 the final. Next up was the boys' game, and right out the gate, junior Quinn Harmon from the corner drains the three. Coach Johnson happy with that. Then Patrick Rondabush from the right wing, he gets the job done. And then to end the first half was Jake Archbold. He can play on the football field, but he can sure drain threes as well. At the buzzer, Homestead would be up 33-17, heading to the locker room at the half. Third quarter action, Alec Grinsfelder outside to Luke Goody, who drains it from the right wing. Rounding it out was junior Grant Simmons for the three, as Homestead would pull away with this one, 61-35, the final. Basketball action continued into the weekend with Homestead hosting the #1 team in Class 4A. The Lady Spartans were ready for the matchup with the Lawrence North Lady Wildcats. Early first quarter, Riley Parker with the right corner three. Sydney Graber says, yeah, I can do that too, draining the three from the left corner. The sharpshooter also hitting an impressive mark on her career, 1,000 career points at Homestead. Spartans up 23-14 at the half, and we'd see some more slick ball movement throughout the quarter. Grace Sullivan, the fake pass, open three, sinks it as Homestead brings down the #1 team in 4A, 44-30, the final.
It feels amazing. I'm so proud of the girls. They came out and played amazing defense, and they executed on offense. Taking care of the ball was a huge key today. They did that. They trusted each other. Everyone was sharing the ball, working inside out, and I couldn't be more proud. They did amazing.
It feels so good. With this game, a lot of people predicted us losing by a lot. So coming in the underdog, we kept our poise, and we really worked hard and just showed the state of Indiana what's up.
Both basketball teams are in action in another SAC doubleheader tonight. This time it's at home. The Snyder Panthers enter Spartan Arena. The girls' game is at 6, and Snyder sits near the bottom of the conference, so it should be a very high-scoring game on the Lady Spartans side. The boys' game is to follow. And boy, can you expect a good game. Last time the Spartans and Panthers were face-to-face, it was a tight matchup to the end with a 2-point win for Snyder. Again, those games begin at 6 right here at Homestead. And basketball continues into the long weekend with the boys in action at East Noble tomorrow. Tip-off is set for 7:30 p.m. That game will be broadcast on The Point 91 FM. The Homestead wrestling team is also in action on Saturday. They'll be pinning their opponents on the mats at Concordia beginning at 9 a.m. Once again, that's across town at Concordia. And the three-day weekend ends with the gymnastics team competing once again at home Monday evening. You can catch them in action at the Freshman Academy beginning at 6:30 p.m. Be sure to follow us on social media for the latest HHS sports news and content, and get out to support the Spartans on this extended weekend. That will do it for sports. Now here's Drew with a look at the forecast.
And now, your weekend weather forecast with weatherman Drew Persinger.
Hello there, Homestead. I'm Drew Persinger. This is the Drew Point. We're looking at the chance of some colder temperatures this weekend, along with some rain. Let's get to your forecast. It's going to be cloudy tonight with a high of 33 and a low of 28. Then tomorrow we're looking at rain with a high of 39 and a low of 15. Then on Sunday it's going to be cloudy again with a high of 24 and a low of 14. There you have it, Homestead. That's your forecast for this weekend. I'll be back again next week with another forecast. But for now, let's get back to Jenna and Nisha.
And that will do it for this edition of HHS In Depth. I'm Jenna Lane.
And I'm Nisha Lalleria. Thank you for watching today, and be sure to follow us on social media for behind-the-scenes looks at the show.
You can also watch past episodes on YouTube at Homestead High School Media.
For all of us here at HHS In Depth, have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here again next week.